K-pop world is buzzing once again, and this time, it all started with something as small as a tiny red mark. A photo of Jimin BTS, casually showing his arm with a faint red spot near his shoulder, suddenly set the internet on fire. The reason? That innocent-looking mark, which Jimin playfully referred to as an insect bite, reminded fans of something far more personal, and strangely something that looked a lot like a mark previously spotted on Jungkook. As always, it didn't take much for ARMYs to lose their minds. Within hours, insect bite was trending on X, formerly Twitter, along with hashtags like hashtag Jimin and Jungkook and hashtag Jikook. What was supposed to be an ordinary livestream turned into another wave of speculation, laughter, and heart-fluttering theories. Fans began asking the same question. Was this just a coincidence or something more? During his recent live broadcast, Jimin laughed softly when a fan asked about the reddish mark on his arm. "Oh, it's just a bug bite," he said with a shy grin. But it wasn't the words themselves, it was how he said them. The way his eyes darted away from the camera, the playful smile tugging at his lips, and that small pause before changing the topic. All of it felt suspiciously familiar. To those who've followed Jimin for years, this wasn't just an offhand comment. It was a moment layered with unspoken meaning. Naturally, fans started connecting the dots. Not long ago, Jungkook was seen in one of his practice vlogs with a similar mark in almost the same spot. And yes, his reaction was just as shy and flustered. When the two clips resurfaced side by side, it didn't take long for the internet to explode with laughter and theories. "Why are they always matching like this?" one fan posted with thousands of likes. "If it's really an insect bite, then that insect must be following both of them," another joked. While many comments were lighthearted, some fans pointed out that Jimin and Jungkook no longer seemed to go out of their way to hide their closeness. For longtime ARMYs, this moment felt like déjà vu. Since their early debut days, Jimin and Jungkook have always shared a unique chemistry, something that goes beyond typical friendship. They've exchanged glances filled with unspoken words, inside jokes no one else seems to understand, and subtle gestures that fans have learned to read over time. But ever since both of them began their solo activities, every little detail, every shared moment has become magnified 100 times over. So when Jimin showed off that insect bite, fans who have become experts at decoding their behavior didn't miss a beat. There was warmth in his tone, that kind of soft, mischievous warmth that suggests there's a private joke behind it. Some even believe Jimin knew exactly what kind of reaction he'd trigger, and decided to have a little fun with it. To make things even more suspicious, just hours later, Jungkook appeared on another platform, wearing a hoodie, cheeks slightly pink, laughing quietly as he scrolled through comments. When one fan wrote, "Jimin said it's an insect bite, but you have the same mark. Do you share the same insect?" Jungkook only smiled and shook his head, saying nothing. But that single reaction, the way he tried to hold back laughter, was enough to make timelines go wild again. Moments like these prove once again that anything involving Jimin and Jungkook carries an unmatched power to capture attention. They never confirm anything outright, yet their gestures and reactions tell 1,000 stories. Fans often call this the silent language of Jikook, a way of communicating that doesn't need words because their expressions say everything. And perhaps what's most interesting is that neither of them seems to mind anymore. They don't deny, don't overreact, they simply smile and move on. It's as if they've reached a point where they no longer feel the need to explain who they are to each other or to the world. They let people talk while they continue living their lives on their own terms. As the insect bite story trended, an old clip from Run BTS also resurfaced, one where Jungkook teased Jimin saying, "You're so sweet, even mosquitoes fall in love with you." What used to be just a playful joke suddenly feels like poetic foreshadowing. Fans flooded the comments with bug and heart emojis, laughing at how that mosquito seems to have returned years later. But underneath the jokes and memes lies something deeper. To many ARMYs, this isn't just about marks or coincidences. It's about the bond that has survived time, distance, and fame. Jimin and Jungkook grew up together under the same spotlight, weathering the same storms. And even now, as independent artists carving their own paths, that connection remains visible in ways words can't fully describe. They've both evolved from shy teenagers teasing each other in cramped dorms into mature solo performers with global influence. Yet the dynamic between them, that easy familiarity, that instinctive understanding, still feels unchanged. It's as if no matter how much the world shifts around them, they continue to orbit each other in quiet harmony. That's why a simple insect bite moment becomes so meaningful. Because behind all the laughter there's a longing, a nostalgic joy among fans who miss seeing them side by side, laughing, performing, sharing the same stage. For many, Jimin and Jungkook aren't just idols. They're symbols of friendship, trust, and a connection that feels real in a world of image and illusion. The phrase "they're not denying it anymore" has now become a playful slogan among ARMYs. Not because either of them made a confession, but because their calm and natural behavior is the confession. They don't need to explain or hide anything. Their smiles, their timing, their small gestures, those are enough. And maybe for Jimin and Jungkook themselves, that's what makes it beautiful. Amid the noise of fame and speculation, they still get to share little private things, like an innocent mark that turns into a worldwide trend. It's intimate, funny, and strangely tender. In a world where every move of a K-pop idol is analyzed to pieces, stories like this are a reminder that behind the cameras and headlines, they're still just two people, capable of laughter, embarrassment, and inside jokes that accidentally escape into the public eye. But if you look closely, neither of them seems to mind. As long as they can keep smiling, the world can keep guessing. Neither Jimin nor Jungkook has addressed the topic again since that day. And yet their silence speaks volumes. As always, they don't have to say a word, because their connection is already loud enough. So yes, it may have started as just an insect bite. But in the hearts of millions of fans, it became something much more. Another unforgettable chapter in the ongoing story of Jimin and Jungkook, the duo who can turn even the smallest mark into a worldwide sensation. In the end, maybe it was just a small red mark, a random insect bite, as Jimin called it with that familiar playful smile. But for those who have watched Jimin and Jungkook grow, laugh, and face the world together, even something that simple carries 1,000 meanings. It's not really about the mark itself, but about what it represents. The comfort, the closeness, and that quiet, undeniable bond that never seems to fade no matter how much time passes. Whether it's coincidence or connection, the truth is, they no longer need to prove anything. The way they move around each other, the way their laughter blends, the way they silently respond to one another. That is the story. And maybe that's why every time something like this happens, fans don't just see two idols. They see two souls who found a rare kind of understanding in a world that demands perfection. So let the world speculate, let timelines overflow, and let hashtags rise again. Jimin and Jungkook will keep doing what they've always done. Living freely, smiling genuinely, and sharing the kind of moments that turn into legends without even trying. Because sometimes the most beautiful stories aren't the ones spoken out loud, but the ones quietly written between two hearts that just understand.